What's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Chad Driscoll here. Wanted to stop in, just make a quick video. It's about 3 or 4 minutes just on the setup and execution of a leg press. So the exercise that I'm going to show you here is what I would call a hip press that we have over at Lift. It's a vertical seated leg press, so some of you may have one like this, but I just think it's an exercise that we do a lot within the gym, and with people going back to the gym, it may be a benefit to you. So I'm just going to show you my cues and tips on how to stay as safe as possible and make the exercise as beneficial as possible for you. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Alright guys, so first, just like any exercise, comes the setup. I always say if you can't set up for a movement properly, you can't perform that movement properly. So with this specific machine, it has seat settings and range of motion settings. So I've already set up my seat setting to just a comfortable distance where my legs are just slightly bent when I'm sitting there, and then that way I can easily unrack this weight. The calibration settings, which I'm going to show you right now, there's 5 on here, but they're mainly used for safety pins, right? Just like we would use safety pins within a squat. These are really nice so that you can, if you get too deep into the range of motion, if the set gets too hard and you need to let the weight down, you're not going to crush yourself or hurt yourself by letting the weight swing all the way at you. So I really like machines that have these safety pins. Some of the older leg presses do not. So just make sure that you're finding one that may work for you. Alright, so once we actually get the machine all set up, then we can start to address our feet. I personally like a good, solid squat stance for my feet. So if you're someone that likes a wide squat stance, by all means go ahead and do it. If you're someone that likes a shoulder width or just outside of shoulder width like I do that as well. You can also stick your toes slightly out if you want to, but I don't like too much turning of the toes out, because then you're kind of losing that external rotation torque that we talk about within the hips and the glutes to help you drive this weight up. I'm not a fan of a big wide stance, especially with the leg press. We want to really hit kind of the glutes, quads hard, but you can take a narrow stance and use it more as, you know, a quad burn exercise, which I do from time to time. Now once we're locked and loaded and ready to go, I want you to think about sitting as tall as possible with a big chest. So the main thing here is we want to think about that spine being as neutral as possible the entire time. The biggest thing, especially as you're seeing here, I want to make sure my low back is as far back and straight against that pad as possible. So think about sitting real tall, whether you're in this vertical position or you're in that inverted position. That low bony process, that sacrum down there, has to be on the pad at all times. If it starts to curl off and under and you feel your butt kind of winking under, then we can maybe be getting some low back stress and not actually using the hips and the legs to drive this weight out. So it can create a bunch of torque there, which may be causing some pain if you're having pain as we're doing a leg press here. So as you can see, I'm sitting as tall as possible. I have a big chest, and I'm still continuing to drive that weight out. All right, now you can see this from the top where my knees are going. So a lot of times people tend to put their feet out way too wide and let their knees come into the middle of their chest. I want you to think about having your knees go to your armpits. Just like we do in a squat, we're kind of rotating them out as they come down towards us, and that's the exact same thing with the leg press here. I'm sitting tall, I'm letting my knees come to my armpits, and I'm driving out in that exact same motion. Sometimes with clients, I'll put a band around their knees to make sure that they're actually creating torque out against it and keeping that position with the knees and the hips. Alright, now the last piece here is that kind of leg lockout, or I guess lack of the leg lockout at the top of the press. So a lot of times when people are leg pressing, they tend to fully extend their leg all the way out. It can be really unsafe when we have that kind of relaxation of the muscles, because now we're just structure on structure. So I'm sure you've seen this kind of gym fuckery or those kind of horror stories over on Instagram and Twitter. Just make sure that we press all the way out and we get to just before lockout and we pause there, controlling the weight, make sure we're driving out hard, but we're not locking out at the top. Alright guys, so that's just a really quick tutorial, the main kind of 3 things that we need to concentrate on with a leg press, whether you're in this top seated position or that inverted position, whatever it may be. So I hope that you can take those and apply them to your leg press in your gym. If you guys like this video, by all means, please hit that like button and then hit that subscribe button so you guys can know when all of my new videos are coming out. See you guys soon. Have a great weekend.